Hello, and welcome to Creating with Colleen, where I will teach you what to do. I may teach you what not to do, but you know I promise to teach you something. Today I want to share a really fun bundle with you. It is the Penguin Place bundle, and you can find that on page 33 of our July through December mini catalog. It is a photopolymer set. There are 28 pieces in this set, and it comes with a coordinating punch. And if you purchase the set as a bundle, that is the stamp set and the bundle together, you will save 10% on your purchase. So today what I want to share with you is this really fun card. Don't you have a cool friend? Don't you tell each one of them that they're the coolest friend ever? Well, you can make a bunch of cards to give to them, and I'm going to show you how to make this one here. It's one of the cards that I included in my online class in August, and when you take the class you get the stamp set. You have the option of stepping it up to include the bundle, and you get all the parts already cut, ready to go to make 4 fun cards. So if you want information about that, please visit my creatingwithcolleen.com blog, and you can sign up for my newsletter, and every month you will be kept up on Stampin' Up! Specials and classes that I am having. So what you're going to need to make this card is you are going to need a piece of 4 1/4 by 6 3/4 Misty Moonlight, and you're going to score it in at 1 1/4 inches. So that'll be your piece like that. Then you're going to need a piece of 4 inches by 5 1/4 real red, and you will need 2 pieces of 3 3/4 by 5 inches of your basic white. Now, first thing you're going to have to do is you are going to cut this really cool top. And if you can see that, not only is it cut to look like a nice sky to me of clouds coming down, but it is also stitched. Stampin' Up! Has a lot of amazing dies, and they put that stitch edge on there, which adds so much. So I am using the basic borders dies for this card. And when you open it up, it is 6 awesome borders. So this is the one I'm using, but you have a scallop stitch. You have a beautiful fancy edge that is stitched. You have one that can go straight in the center, but if not, I've seen it off to the side and it's beautiful. A nice large oval and a zigzag. So what you will do is you will take the piece of Misty Moonlight, and you're actually going to take the stitch side down. You will put it on the edge of your card. This is where it is scored. You're going to put it on the edge of the card. I hold it with a post-it note, and then I run this through my die cutting machine. And when I do that, I get a piece that looks like that. So with this piece, we'll put it aside, because that's my base piece, and I'll use it in a little bit. But let's go ahead and start stamping our white pieces. So as I said, this is 3 3/4 by 5. I'm just going to throw a little piece of 8 1/2 by 11 paper down here so I don't mess up my grid paper. But what you want to do in the stamp set, you have this really fun ski slope. So I'm going to take Balmy Blue ink, and I'm going to ink this up lightly. And I'm just going to put a little slope in here. And then also, that is full strength. Without inking this again, I'm just going to go a little bit higher and just stamp it again. And that gives me a lighter one in the background. Gives you just a little bit of depth there. So I'm going to take my penguins. First, I'm going to take my skiing penguin. I love this guy. He just doesn't have a care in the world. He is just sliding down the slopes. That's your cool friend. You know, just hanging out, no job to go to, just happy, 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 happy. So I will ink this up. And when I put him on here, let's see, I want to be able to get his beak on the edge there. So I will put him there. And actually what I should be doing is, if you have a paper piercing mat, put it under here because with photopolymer, you do want it to give just a little bit, and then you'll get a nice, clear, good stamped image. So for him, I'm going to put a beak on him. Now in this stamp set, there are 2 different beaks. They're real tiny, but the one here, which is a triangle that faces you, that is for the guy, of course, who is facing you. And then this one here is a side view. So that's the one that I am going to want to use. Make sure I have the right one. Here we go. So I'm going to take my pumpkin pie and ink this up. Let me get it right. And just put it on the edge here. So he is happy-go-lucky heading down the slopes. Now I want my words to go with that slope. This is to the coolest friend ever is really just straight. It's just straight, but with photopolymer, they're so flexible that what I did is I put it on here, and you can even kind of hold it up and just bend it to fit this edge. So I'll take my words and stamp to the coolest friend ever, and it goes along with that slope. Now for the background, you talk about a happy mistake. Oh, I didn't even notice it at first. I just thought it was a good chunky tree. This tree here in the stamp, it's supposed to stamp like this, and that's a cool little tree. But I made the mistake, you know, they're photopolymer, so they're clear. So I'm just got some good music in the background. I'm stamping, should have been like that. Well, Colleen turned it that way. So I actually stamped with the back of the stamp because you can see the difference. But I'm telling you, you know what? I liked it. So I thought that was a happy mistake. They're not all bad, you know. If you learn from them, they're never bad. But I kind of like that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take a Post-it note, and I'm going to just, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to kind of put it along this edge here, my blue edge, because I don't want my tree to go below that. So I will take the back of my stamp, and I'm going to stamp a tree here, and then without inking it again, you can give a little huff, and I'm going to bring it down a little bit, because by masking it, it's going to look like that goes behind my hill. And I like it. So you have 2 varieties, 2 versions of trees, just by turning your stamp over. Now I'm going to take the balmy blue, and we have our little snowflakes. So I'm going to stamp the snowflakes. I like to kind of do it 2 different ways, like full strength and then off, because it just gives, it's not just so flat. You have light snowflakes, dark snowflakes. It works pretty well. Gives a little bit more depth in there. Let me put those there. And if you want some lighter ones in there, just stamp off. Now while I have my snowflakes, I am also going to stamp this top edge here. Even though it's a lighter blue, you will see these snowflakes. And I felt it kind of carried it into the card from the top all the way towards the bottom. So here I just stamped that scalloped edge. And again, I can just move that to the side for a little bit. Y'all just might have to remind me where it's at. So I have my piece here. So now what I need to do is to make my other parts. So I'm going to stamp this little guy. I have a piece of scrap paper and my penguin. Let me see, I got my table messed up here. Let me find where he is. And what I'm going to do is I will stamp him over here. And then I will take them in my punch and slide them in. And you always want to do this upside down, whether you're doing words or your penguin. Punch them out. And I've got my little guy. He's so cute. Now what I've already done is I've taken some paper pumpkin cardstock, you can stamp his feet or you can actually just punch them out, because on the punch itself, it has the foot also. It has the body, it has the middle of the body, and then it has the foot. So I like to use my glue dots when attaching my feet. My fingers don't always want to do little well, so it's easier to use a glue dot, not trying to get adhesive and everything on there. So I like where they're at. I put that down. And for the ease of just having it done, I have stamped 2 hats. One is in real red, one is in gorgeous grape, and then a little red bow tie. So he's my little guy. So I will take the bow tie, put it down there. Now he needs the beak that is facing you, because that's exactly what he is doing. So I will stamp a little pumpkin pie beak. And again, when I do that, he just always comes to life. I just love him. He's so sweet. And then I'm going to take my craft and rubber mat, and I'm actually going to take some adhesive, put it on the hat itself. And this is great because I'm not getting the tape all over my, excuse me, that's okay. I can throw my stuff on the floor. It's my stuff. But I like putting the craft and rubber, like when I'm putting tape onto something, because it doesn't really stick to here. And of course, it's not getting on my scrap paper. So I can move these out of the way. I will bring this back. I'm going to take the gorgeous grape hat and put it on my dude who's flying through. And then I'm going to take this little guy and I'm going to put him on with some dimensionals. I want him to pop out. So we have the large and the small dimensionals, and each one serves a great purpose. We no longer have to cut them in half when we want a tiny one, but this size is working pretty good for me here. So I have this, and now when I put this together, I'm going to take the 4 by 5 1/4 piece of real red. I'm going to mount this onto this base piece, like such. Oh my goodness, that looks crooked. Here we go. Turn it over in case there's anything on your hands, or I did a video yesterday and there was this teeny tiny hat and I rubbed it off, messed up the hat totally. So I have this here, and then to put it into my card, it's really easiest. You want the look where these 3 sides are even. So there's a little bit of a gap at the top, and then that's going to come down. So I think it's easiest, especially if you're using our Stamp and Seal, because it is so strong, that I'm just going to put it along this cloud line some, and that is going to hold, let me scoot that around there. That is going to hold my card in place. So the way I will do this, again, I'm more concerned with the front here, getting all this centered. So when I have these where I like it, I've got my tape on there, I just push it down, and then my card flap folds just like that. Now, not for the inside to be overdone, because this is really cute. At least I think so. I hope you do too. Is I'm going to stamp the inside. And a lot of times what I do, especially in a class, when I have like a 3rd layer that is smaller of white, and I have 2 layers, I always make sure they're the same size so they don't get the 2 confused and stamp the wrong piece. So I'm going to take this piece here, again, 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm going to have my cool friend peeking in. So what I will do, I'll take that ink pad that I threw on the floor, my memento. I'm inking him up, and I'm just going to kind of have him hanging over. He's like, hey, what's up? So I put him in there, and he needs a little beak. And that's my cool dude popping in to say hi. So I will take him. Put him on the side here. And I think what I also like about this card are the basic colors. You know, real red, our real red is gorgeous. This Misty Moonlight is beautiful with it. And of course you got your little guy peeking in. Now you can also take a wink of Stella. And if you want to put, you never see this on the camera so much, but trust me, it is there. If you want to put some shimmer on your slopes, that is great. Just try not to hit the Coolest Friend Ever, because that is a classic ink. It's a water-based ink. And a lot of times what can happen is if you rub it enough, it will bleed on you. And you don't want that unless you want some blurry words. So just add a little bit of my Wink of Stella. And that card is done. Let me show you this one, because it's stamped a little bit better. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, quick, simple, fun. Again, my name is Colleen Magness. You can request my newsletter at creatingwithcolleen.com. You can also shop there 24/7. I always appreciate your support. And please support me on YouTube. I also come to you live every Wednesday at noon Eastern time, and where I just share lunch with you. I always create. You always get to take a break, and we make some fun things together. So please sign up for my newsletter, and thank you for tuning in and being with me today. God bless you all. Bye-bye.